Alright everybody, so today we're actually going to replace the hinges on my Jeep Wrangler. I've already gone ahead and made one of these. So basically what I've done is I took the bracket off the inside of the door and I've measured how far it was from the strap. So this is a strap that comes with it. This is a part that normally went in here after I took it off. And this is where the hook on the inside of the door actual body connects. And I've gone ahead and I measured out how far I want it to be. It's a little longer than it was before, but that's alright. It gets me more paracord in the Jeep. So basically this is a pattern I came up with. I stumbled upon this when I was actually making the strap for my flint and steel. I'm probably not the first person to come up with this, but I did like the pattern, so I stuck with it. So essentially this is what I came up with, and what you're going to need is some paracord, and you're going to need one of these fancy screwdrivers rather, to get this screw out. So this is the screw that's inside the Jeep. Now, be careful when you're taking it out. First of all, you're going to need one of these to get it out. I'm not sure what size this is, but you should have one of these. And then when you go to take this out, be careful that your screw is actually magnetic, because mine was not, and I almost lost this one in the body panel, which was kind of a pain to get out. So I'm going to go show you how to take off the inside hook, which is there, out of the Jeep, and then I'll show you the pattern. Alright, so here we are over on the passenger side of the Jeep. This is where it's going to hook into, the loose end, and this is a part I took off and showed you earlier that we braided it part of. So what you're going to want to go ahead and do is there's two screws right here, one on top, one on bottom, and it's best to do this on a level surface where you know the doors won't swing back at you. Otherwise you're going to have to find something to tie it all up with, which can be kind of a pain. So just go ahead, be careful taking the screws out. Don't make the mistake I did of losing it down in the door. Otherwise you have to pop some of the clips off, and that can be kind of a pain. So just go ahead, here's the screw you just took out, and put it on the running board. It's probably the best place for it. And then go ahead and take the bottom one out. The bottom one out is probably the one you got to be most worried about. But if you go ahead, loosen it all the way, grab this little bracket and push it in with the screw, you can take the entire assembly out. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and make it. Alright, so back here in the garage, go ahead and keep these screws you got and make sure you don't lose them. So I'm just going to put them over here to the side. That should be okay. And now just go ahead and take this off. You're not really going to need that. I've already measured it, so if you know how far you want it to be, this would be when you get your tape measure and kind of go out. I know that I like mine to be about 5.5 inches out from where it would be on the door. That gives me enough room to get in and out without the door hitting someone in the parking lot, which is a good compromise for me. So this is what you're going to need. And then you're going to need to grab your length of paracord. This is probably way too much. In fact, I know it is. It's kind of a mess. Let me untangle this really quick. And what you're going to need to do is you probably need around 3 feet of paracord to do this. Now, more is always better, but you don't need more than 3 feet. Alright, so after you've measured out your length of paracord, I would recommend probably about cutting yourself about 5 feet so you have room to make mistakes. So the best thing to do is to go ahead and just kind of pull it somewhat tight so all the strands on the inside are all in line. Get your pair of scissors. It's better to use scissors instead of a knife, just so it doesn't fray. And then the trick is, so your paracord doesn't go everywhere, is to kind of pinch it. Just keep everything together without fraying the end. Then get your lighter and go ahead and carefully, you just want to singe the ends. If it catches fire, it's not the end of the world. And just go ahead and let it dry. Cool. And as it does that, now you want to let it go just a little bit so it's not super hot. And then kind of go with your fingers and pinch the ends together. And that just kind of gives it more of a rounded shape instead of being all crazy. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to start this braid. Alright, so this is what the finished product is going to look like. I'll go ahead and give you guys a more detailed look at that. It's kind of a square patterned look. It looks better in more natural light, but you can tell the pattern kind of repeats itself in this square shape, and I like that because it's nice and dense, It's pretty thick and the side looks nice as well. And you're not really going to see this very much, but I wanted something that wasn't going to give a lot of stretch. So this is going to mount in the driver's side door. This is one I've already finished, and that's going to go on that hook from before. All right, so what you're going to want to do is go ahead and this is the hook from the door. The bowed part right here is what faces into the door basically. So it sits in the door like that, and the cable's going to come out this way. So what you're going to want to do, go ahead and get your piece of paracord and put this off to the side, not lose the screws. Go ahead and get your piece of paracord, and you're going to want to find the halfway point. Now your halfway point is what becomes that loop. So go ahead and find your halfway point. I just happen to tie a knot on the end so it's a little bit more even. And again, this is way too much paracord, but that's fine. And you're going to want to find your spot that you decided was good enough for you. So for me, that is 5.5 inches. And then you're going to pinch this, and then you're going to want to mount it to here. All right, so now that you have it pinched, go ahead and take this bracket, and you're going to want to kind of balancing it. Starting this is the hardest part, and after that it's very easy to continue this pattern. One of the reasons I actually decided to stick with it. So now that it's pinched together, you want to bring both sides over and kind of droop them like that. So they're both drooped over. Now you can pick one of these strands to start from. It does not matter which side you start from, it just matters, you just need to remember which one you did. So go ahead and move it over and then behind, and I'll show you this pattern. The pattern is the same throughout the entire part, so I'll bring you in more in depth. Starting it is a little bit tricky. So after you bring it up and over, you want to cinch it down, which can be a little difficult, as I said. So go ahead and cinch it down, and we'll go ahead and we'll move to the other side. Now this doesn't have to be perfect first go around. All right, so we're getting closer to the end now. And again, so you have the 90-degree one. You want to go ahead, bring the paracord over underneath all 3 strands, and go ahead and pull it tight. Now, the tighter you spend doing this and the more time you allow yourself to make sure it's tight, the better the braid will come out looking. So again, now this side is a 90-degree one. Just go ahead and bring it over and tighten it up. So pull it out. And you definitely want to make sure that this one is tight because it'll make it kind of bulge on the sides. And I mean, if that's the look you're going for, go right ahead and leave it be. So that is probably about good where I want to leave it. It's about the same length as the other one, which is good enough for me. And now you just want to go about pushing all the knots down, taking a look at it, and you can see now we have our braid attached to the hinge piece. And now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to cut these off about the same length. And of course you can do a fancy knot at the end, but I mean, that's not necessary. I want this to be easy to untie for whatever reason. But yeah, go ahead and leave. I'm going to cut off, leave about 1.5 inches or 1 inch. And definitely because you're cutting off the ends, you want to make sure this last one is super tight. So just go ahead and pull, and it's going to cinch everything together and keep it from coming undone. So after you're done, go ahead and cut off the excess and cut here and just melt like you did before to cut your length, and then you are ready for mounting. So here we are over on the driver's side. I'm going to go ahead and do 1 screw at a time. If you go ahead and put the screw kind of like you took it out in the top one, it allows you to reach in and put it back in. Now with the first screw on, it's best if you go ahead and put your loop over the hook, and you can tell that sits nice and good. And now I'm going to do this off camera so I don't lose it, but you want to put the other screw back in and tighten it up, and you're good to go. Alright, so here they are from the inside of the Jeep, and when you go ahead and open the door, you can see it kind of coils up like that, and looks really nice. And that's pretty much it. If you did enjoy this video, please go ahead and leave a like. I ordered some more Jeep parts. Hopefully next week I'll have a video up about installing some LED spotlights on my Jeep. So again, leave a like, comment, and I hope to see you guys next time.